This entire Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, and Conor McGregor saga is so much bigger than we might think because, of course, we have the fight announcement. We had the, I don't want to say leak, but Dana White just all of a sudden revealing that Michael Chandler is going to be fighting Charles Oliveira. We have Conor McGregor responding, Michael Chandler making a video, and then we actually have Conor McGregor's response both on Twitter and at a press conference. We're going to take a look at all of it today. We're going to walk through it step by step, and as always, guys, I would love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, we're going to take a look at Michael Chandler's video first over from Combat Sports today. And I apologize if you hear me deep breathing a little bit. I know I don't want it to hurt your viewing experience, but there's nothing I can do. Still running with some seasonal allergies over here. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyways, Michael Chandler goes in on Conor McGregor. We're going to watch this video, then we're going to take a look at a bunch of replies to it. Speaking of one of them being Conor McGregor, it goes so much deeper. Let's watch the video.
All right, there you have it, boys and girls. I'm not even going to respond to Conor's stupid little tweet.
That's something that we're going to be taking a look at.
Acting like I dipped. The simple fact of the matter is, you are the most unreliable human being that has ever graced mixed martial arts. So, what am I going to do? I'm going to fight Charles Oliveira. Why am I going to fight Charles Oliveira? Number one, it's a badass fight.
And it makes sense for Michael Chandler, by the way, before we even like talk about like just the Conor McGregor aspect of it. But it makes sense. Like, he should be fighting somebody instead of waiting for Conor McGregor.
Number two, it's a rematch. It's a redemption story for me. The dude who already stole from me, rightfully so, in a fight, in a fair fight. He stole my dreams, shattered my dreams of becoming UFC champion. Now I get the opportunity to fight Charles Oliveira, become the #1 contender, and then I've got options. If Conor,
and that's entirely true. If he beats Charles Oliveira, he's actually in the title conversation. I understand that he's only won in his like what last 4, something like that, but it makes sense. If you beat Charles Oliveira, you become one of the top contenders, and then hey, Islam Makhachev might be interested in fighting you. By the way, I actually love Michael Chandler's chances against somebody like Islam Makhachev. I really do. I'm not saying he'd win. I'm just saying I really do like it.
Can finally get his house in order, if he can finally string together a couple of sober days, string together a couple of days where he's actually training and actually feeling good, and he can actually finally make good on his promise of the greatest comeback in combat sports history. If he can finally pony up, then I will fight Conor after I dispatch of Charles Oliveira. Or
now this is a little bit of an issue because you never know when Conor McGregor wants to come back, and something that we're going to take a look at is Conor McGregor does have a date that he's supposedly looking for. This is a little bit risky by Michael Chandler because Conor McGregor could just take this opportunity and go, hey, Michael Chandler's busy. Michael Chandler doesn't want to fight. I'm going to go fight a Nate Diaz trilogy. He has an idea or something that we're kind of hinting at, by the way, which we're going to take a look at towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Or this could all work out for Michael Chandler. This could give him some leverage, and now he shows Conor McGregor that he actually doesn't. He's not willing to just wait for Conor McGregor anymore. So I can see this working out both ways for him. It's risky, but I do think it is the right play.
Or Islam Makhachev, you are next in 2025, and I will be the champion by 2025. So, to everybody who has supported me on this journey, it's been actually, it's been awesome. A lot of ups and downs. We knew booking the fight with Conor was going to be eventful, to say the least.
I wonder if he actually believes that, though, because I can't imagine the whole MMA fan base or the whole MMA community was kind of like, Michael, he's never going to fight again. But I do appreciate Michael waiting and being committed to the next fight that he told the UFC, all that kind of stuff, right?
But here you have it, MSG in November, me versus Charles Oliveira, co-main event, and I'm really, really excited about it. I've made this decision probably 4 weeks ago. Me and my wife, me and the team, me and the UFC, we sat down, and I'm not going to tell you what they told me when Conor's return date was, but it was very, very easy for me to say, hell no, I'm not.
And yeah, Dana White did clarify that Michael Chandler is done waiting, and Dana White does have an idea for when Conor McGregor is going to come back.
Not waiting for this dude anymore. You know why? Because it's never a concrete date with Conor. It's never a concrete date. But just as Robbie Fox reported and kind of clarified, it's not that I am not Conor's next opponent. It's that he is not my next opponent.
It could very well be both, though. That's the issue.
I am Conor McGregor's next opponent. The only way he comes back to the UFC That road goes straight through Nashville, Tennessee, and he's going to fight me because he has to prove to the entire world that he's not actually scared of me.
But I don't think he has to prove that. Like, should he prove that? Yeah, if he doesn't do that, then Conor McGregor doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler. I don't know how to feel about Conor McGregor being scared because everything that he's done in his career prior to this Michael Chandler thing has shown that he's absolutely not scared of anybody. Fearless against Khabib, fearless against Jose Aldo, taking Chad Mendes on short notice, taking Nate Diaz on short notice. Anything that Conor McGregor has done his entire career show that he's not scared, but he could be a very different man today. Either that, or he just is not interested in Michael Chandler and sees either some easier fights or some bigger fights to do. I think that's more likely the case, and I wouldn't shock me if Conor McGregor just spin this whole narrative around on Michael Chandler and made it his fault. I don't think that Conor McGregor is going to fight Michael Chandler anymore at all.
And I've been very hesitant to say that because I don't want to sound like a douche, but the man signed a check with his mouth that his behind could not cash. And he realized, okay, I did the Ultimate Fighter. That was fun. Now, wait a second. I actually have to fight this guy. I truly believe that if Conor McGregor was lined up against anybody in the entire world whose name was not Michael Chandler, he would have showed up on June 29th, but he didn't. So here we go. I've been in camp already. I've already been training. Weight is coming down.
Yeah, and we do. That's another question that I had about Michael Chandler's career is he has been out for, I think it's been over 2 years now. He's getting up there in age. He's what? He's probably like 36, 38, somewhere around that area. I hope he comes back the same dude, man, because I'm going to be cheering for Michael Chandler against Charles Oliveira. And I like Charles Oliveira too, but after everything that he's been through in his career right now, man, I just really want him to get a win.
We're getting back to the roots of chasing that title. And I took a little pit stop called following this dream fight against Conor that obviously has not come to fruition, but here we are. That fight will still happen in 2025. We will and have to finish the Ultimate Fighter 31. But the simple fact of the matter is I am a fighter. I love and respect my fans and my supporters and my followers, and it's time to get back in there and get back to work. The boy is back.
And I think it's great for him to be active too. It's the best thing that you could probably do for your career.
We're chasing gold in 2025, and it starts in November at Madison Square Garden. Co-main event, John Jones versus Stipe, which is going to be the biggest card, the biggest fight of the entire year. Get pumped up, boys and girls. The boy is back. The most exciting, electrifying guy that you ever see step inside the octagon. Conor McGregor, you're a poser. Get your house in order. Charles Oliveira, I respect the hell out of you. Can't wait to compete against you. See you in 60-something days.
Could you just imagine?
Bless. See you at the top.
Could you just imagine if Charles Oliveira ends up pulling out of that fight? Just the bad luck for Michael Chandler, man. It'd be crazy. But there was some good, there was some bad in what he had to say. I think it was a good video that he put out. I think, and he also put out something on YouTube. I haven't watched that yet, but it's not just about what I think here, because again, Conor McGregor replied. There is some extra information on Conor McGregor from a press conference and something that Conor McGregor might be planning, which we're going to get into. But first, let's take a look at a couple top replies and see kind of how the MMA community feels about all of this. Kyle Anthony's had this to say: feel bad for Chandler, but absolutely a badass fight against Charles. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Sorry about that, everybody. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I really do feel bad for Chandler. It's something that I've been talking about for a little while is I don't understand why so many people just are making fun of Chandler completely. Like, oh my God, Chandler's like kind of like they were doing with Ngannou, saying that he fumbled the bag, but everybody is kind of being a little bit more malicious towards Chandler. I don't get it, man. If you were in Chandler's spot, you would absolutely sit out and wait for a Conor McGregor fight. I think everybody on the face of the earth would do the same thing. Real and Sheikah had this to say: Oliveira will choke his ass out. The guy thinks he's him. Chandler is 1-3 in his last 4 fights, and the win was against the wash-up Tony. Now, here's the problem, and okay, I like the reply over here. Don't act like he didn't test every one of those fighters. All of those fights were close to going the other way. That's entirely true. One thing that is absolutely 100% true is that Michael Chandler belongs at the top of the division. He only has a few instances where he lacked a little bit of fight IQ, just kind of slugging it out. But Michael Chandler is absolutely one of the most skilled fighters on the entire planet, and I do believe that he has a chance of beating everybody in the entire lightweight division. Like, I don't mind his chances against Islam Makhachev. I think everybody, I'm speaking of prime Michael Chandler, he could be changing as of sitting out right now, and maybe, I don't know about overtraining. I don't know if he's been cutting weight at all. Prime Michael Chandler can take on anybody in either lightweight division. Now, Conor McGregor actually replied to this, and he said, Chandlers saw that takedown getting stuffed and mauled and officially dipped. Fat little, I'm at the Hard Rock Hotel, Florida for the bare knuckle tonight. Got tested earlier today by DFSI. Give me my date. And of course, Conor McGregor is acting like he wants to fight. He's been acting like he wants to fight for a very long time, but at this point in his career, nobody believes Conor McGregor anymore. I don't believe Conor McGregor, and I'm saying this as somebody who was a fan of Conor McGregor when he bursted into the scene. Nowadays, I'm not a fan of Conor McGregor. I don't like, just the way that he's seemingly changed, man. He doesn't seem like the same guy. Like, I liked the guy that came in who was super motivated, wanted to build some success for himself, saying things like, partying is weak for the soul. I do not believe a word that comes out of Conor McGregor's mouth anymore. Now, Michael Chandler replied to that on Twitter again. Carry on what you're doing. Sorry, you're out of the loop. And Michael Chandler actually... And people are dogging on Michael Chandler. For example, like UFC King said, Chandler trying to be the salty ex who says they moved on but really hasn't. I disagree with that, man. Chandler literally is moving on against Charles Oliveira. And he's trying to get some leverage on Conor McGregor. The problem is, I don't know if it'll necessarily work. Like, this could work out for something that Conor McGregor would want to do. King had this to say, you and Jones both do a lot of tweeting and no fighting nowadays. Entirely true. No, I don't believe anything that Conor McGregor has to say anymore. Sorry about that, guys. Still struggling to breathe a little bit over here. Bad allergy week, man. So I'm with it. I'm with that tweet over there. Anyways, let's continue on. MMA Sensei had this to say. You pulled out because of a pinky toe. You were partying a couple weeks before a fight. You were on a shit ton of gear. You can't pull the alcohol away. You're still living in 2016. You're in no place to talk crap because you're much worse than Chandler because at least you wanted to fight. You just acted as if you did. I am unfortunately completely with him. And then, of course, you have all these tweets. Conor's the most tested athlete once again in the UFC. It's not like the UFC could, put out their own tests or just say that Conor McGregor's been tested when he wasn't. Of course, Conor McGregor is on the sauce, man. Come on. Let's be real over here. ACT MMA, I laughed at this one. They had this to say, the idea of Michael Chandler watching his video during week 83 of his training camp is hilarious. This is something that I saw going around a little while. And this isn't the first time I've seen this post, but it's so funny. Conor McGregor just out of our... I love it, dude. So it's so funny. Like, one thing that has been consistent throughout Conor's entire career is the memes, man. Like, it's so true. Could you imagine with Chandler just looking at that and be like... I'm supposed to fight you in a couple weeks. Let's continue on. And this is the biggie over here, guys. Championship rounds posted something very interesting, okay? Seems like Dustin Poirier is down to fight Conor McGregor now that Michael Chandler has got a fight booked. It is important to note that Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, as of the time of recording this video, seemingly were ready to fight each other. So, the Diamond reposted, OMG, it's McGregor. Bro, you really got the Conor fight. Congratulations. Beat him again. Dustin Poirier wants the Conor McGregor fight. And I very well could see him just steal this fight from Chandler because him and Chandler do not like each other. This would be a bigger fight. I could see something this being something Conor McGregor is interested in because Dustin Poirier in his last fight, well, it was a really, really good fight. Unfortunately, he did look a little bit slow. I don't believe Conor's going to fight, period, but regardless, let's continue on. Superfan had this to say, I could 100%, see Dustin Poirier taking the McGregor fight just to piss Michael Chandler off. More of what I was saying, I completely agree with that. How I like Michael Chandler, man, but how funny would that be? My humor's a little broken, guys. Things that I should feel bad for sometimes I find funny. Ultimately, I know I do feel bad for Michael Chandler. I'm happy he's moving on. Charlie Quinn MMA had this to say, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 4 is imminent now. Big money fight for the final fight of Dustin's career. Attempt to revenge for Conor. No brainer. And I agree with that. That's one of the fights that makes the most sense for both guys. I'd be really surprised if this fight doesn't get put together. The only other thing that I could really, really see is Nate Diaz. Sports Club Boston had this to say, says he doesn't want to fight Colby to give him a platform because of how disrespectful he is, but throws that entire thinking out the window when another red panty night arises with the guy who talked about his wife. Y'all can't see how fake this dude is. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm kind of on the Dustin Poirier is a little bit fake trade. Like, I'm a fan of Dustin Poirier, man. I'm a fan of his work. I respect him a lot, but the dude does seem a little bit fake. And I do believe that Dustin Poirier, because Dustin Poirier's had a lot of bad blood before. I actually think that he's scared of Colby. And I know Colby's not the same fighter that he once was, and I know that I'm going to hear about it in the comments down below, because right now, the cool thing to do is to really, really hate Colby Covington. I get the backlash for Colby, by the way. Something must have happened when they were training where Colby ragdolled him or something, because that's honestly That's the only explanation for me. Now, I want to bring you over to MMA Digest, who posted a clip from Conor McGregor's press conference, and you guys got to check this out, because Conor McGregor was talking about this entire situation at a BKFC event.
Conor, I see you fueled up. I know you love this bare knuckle stuff. You said you were trying to be player manager. When's a realistic timeline for you?
You know, like I said, I have 2 fights left.
And I don't know if that was public knowledge, but I didn't know that he only has 2 fights left. I know that there were probably some contract disputes, but man, he obviously wants out of the UFC.
On my UFC contract, my opponent that I was scheduled to fight has rescheduled another bout.
Yeah, and understandably so, Conor. Like, this is coming from a guy who is like a big fan of yours. Dude, what do you expect Michael Chandler to do? I can't believe that he waited 2 years for you. That was nice of him. And look at his eyes, man. He can't be all there.
I would love maybe an exemption or maybe a joint partnership, bare knuckle UFC, similar to McGregor Sports and Entertainment and Mayweather Promotions.
So saying that, still further saying that he doesn't want to fight in the UFC.
Some sort of, agreement where we can get busy. I need to be busy, and right now.
Well, why haven't you been busy? Why haven't you been busy, Conor? Conor, I do not believe this dude wants to fight anymore.
I'm working to get there. So let's see what happens. Like I said, I have 2 fights left on the contract. And it's taken a minute, but, patience is one of the most important skills a human being can possess.
How much more patience do you expect Michael Chandler to have, though?
Study, learn, and implement. And that's where I'm at right now. I got tested today by the Drug-Free Sport Agency. I'm the most tested athlete on the roster.
Now, he could very well be clean as of right now, but I mean, like, come on. I don't even need to explain it, man. Like, obviously the dude was on some gear.
More than twice the amount. I believe I'm tested maybe 13 times. The amount of seconds it took me to finish Jose Aldo, 13 times. And, actually, funny enough, Jose Aldo was number 2 in the testing. I think he's been tested 6 times. So I've been tested more than twice. All these other athletes, yet I struggle to get a date.
Yeah, it's got to be Conor, man. There's no way it's the UFC. There's no way it's Michael Chandler. Any UFC fighter, no matter how injured they are, would die to get an opportunity at Conor McGregor. It's got to be this dude. It's got to be. The only other thing I can see is like some pay issue with Dana White, but it can't be that much. It's got to be Conor McGregor.
So, I've talked to Sheikh Turkey and said, Sheikh Turkey, can you assist me here? As far as Chandler rematching Oliveira, I'm happy with the date. It's November. Maybe we can still do it after.
Maybe being the key word.
If they're not going to line me out till maybe December, January, February, or one of these dates.
And Dana White did say that he's looking like Conor McGregor's going to fight in 2025. He doesn't believe Conor's going to fight in 2024, but he's very confident apparently in 2025, which means nothing to me because he was very confident in some other dates as well.
Maybe we can still do it. I'm just a bit, out of the loop with it, So all I can do is carry on doing what I'm doing. I test under the testing administration. I train daily, and that's it. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, it all comes to fruition.
Yeah, and there's no way it will end up coming into fruition. Like, I don't believe that this dude's serious. I don't believe that this dude's gonna fight. And again, I don't mean to trash Conor McGregor over here because again, I was a huge fan of his on the come up. Now I disagree with a lot of the life choices that he's made, the way he treats his wife. I don't like how much he just shows up coked up everywhere. And even then, this press conference, dude, look at him, man.
Working together.
Look at his eyes. That's you can just tell the way he's speaking. Maybe not just the still image, but he's not the same guy. There's no way that he wants to fight. I'm happy for Michael Chandler, and I can't believe that. They had a lot of tweets, man, that we didn't take a look at because they're just like, oh my God, McGregor owns you. Oh my God, McGregor walked you like a dog. Like, I don't believe that everybody should be treating Michael Chandler the way that he's being treated because every single other UFC fighter and every single person, if they were in Michael Chandler's situation, they would wait for an opportunity for a Conor McGregor fight. If you were somewhat financially free, that's something that everybody would do. And they're acting like they wouldn't do it. They're just making fun of Michael Chandler for it. Michael Chandler has been nothing but respectful throughout this entire process. I don't understand that. I really, really don't. Perhaps we'll make another video on it, but as of right now, that is the entire lineup of how things are going. We'll be here updating you with my reactions, more MMA community reactions, and as always, guys, if you'd like to see more content like this, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the video on screen if you would like to continue watching the channel. YouTube thinks you'll like this video the best. I'll see you over there, guys. Take care.